Well, it's really great to be back here in Cambridge. I was missing out over Christmas, I have to say. What amazing political times we live in. It seems that every week passes, every time I read the papers, something new is happening. And how far the Green Party has come in the last few years. At the last general election, we polled more votes than all the other general elections put together. Under a fair voting system, our 1.1 million votes would have given us 24 MPs at Westminster. Just think about it, 24 Caroline Lucases. It would turn Westminster upside down. Things are changing. Politics is changing. And I think if we'd all been sitting in this room 2 years ago, even a year ago, not one of us would have accurately predicted the situation that we see now. But let's be under no illusions. These are frightening times. These are insecure times. We're going to see the inauguration of a president, a misogynist president, a racist president in the most powerful country in the world on Friday. We've seen a terrible lurch against migrants in this country over the last few years because of other political parties who have pandered to a right-wing message and scaremongering over migration. I am proud that the Green Party has drawn a line in the sand and said no. It is so important that we have a Green Party that is standing by its principles, that you know what you're going to get with the Green Party, unlike so many other parties at the moment. And there's a desire for change. There's a real desire for change. When Theresa May got up in the House of Commons just this week and told the world, told the MPs assembled, that we are going to go for a hard Brexit. And if we don't get a hard Brexit, she's going to turn Britain into a tax haven, a Cayman Islands off the shore of continental Europe. She's using British people as a bargaining chip in negotiations to pander to the right wing of her party, with a Labour Party that has gone along and let her do it, has supported her in invoking Article 50 without even knowing what the plan was going to be. That is reckless and irresponsible. We need a government that listens to the people. We need an opposition who is going to stand up to the government. And you know what? The Green Party would do better than both the government and the opposition right now. That is absolutely clear. But what we heard in the referendum, we have to heed. We heard the cry of communities who have felt neglected, who have felt left behind, generation after generation, by governments who haven't listened. We know why partially that is. It's because of the electoral system, those safe seats where you could put a red rosette on a donkey and they still would have got elected. Labour knew they didn't have to represent the people in those seats properly and stand up for them. The Tories knew that they didn't have to go for those seats in order to win elections, so the people got left behind. And you know what? It is the Greens that are standing up for the people that have been left behind, the ones that are marginalised. And what we need more than ever is to be a party that stands up for the 100%, not a political strategy that just panders to 48% of the population or 52% of the population, but a political party that stands up for the 100%. And I'm proud to be in that party. And there's a clear distinctiveness that is developing amongst the Greens in this election that's coming up, and I'm thrilled and proud to be here with Julie, because she is going to make a very clear stand for what the Green Party is and what the Green Party is about. With Labour, you don't know what you're going to get. We have a leader who can't bring his party with him. We have a Labour Party that will go into the next election on a platform of renewing trying nuclear weapons. We have a Labour Party that will stand in a by-election in Copeland supporting nuclear power and supporting a £30 billion subsidy for Hinkley. If you took that £30 billion and invested it in renewable energy, you could have a revolution in this country. We could rejuvenate the coastline of Britain with offshore renewables. The New York Economics Foundation estimates that we could generate over 6 times our annual electricity demand by offshore renewables, through wave, through wind, exporting our technology around the world. In the context of post-referendum Britain, we don't want to be a tax haven. We want to be something that doesn't represent a hollowed out economy, that has something tangible to offer the people of Britain and the world. That's the way to do it, not to invest in a white elephant like Hinkley. A Labour Party that wants to build more roads, that will do nothing to tackle the air pollution that we're facing, that won't invest in the real transport infrastructure that we need, that won't make the choices which we've got to make. We are facing a fork in the road as a country. If we're going to meet our climate change targets under the Paris Agreement of 1.5 degrees warming, we're going to have to make difficult, tough choices. And you know what? The Greens will make those choices. The Conservatives aren't pretending they can make those choices. Labour is too frightened to make those choices. The Greens will make those choices. And that's why this election is really, really important. Because this is an election about housing, about transport, about local air quality, about issues that will affect not just this community, but the country as a whole. And we need principled leadership. And what's great about this election, as we've seen in London, when you have a voting system where you can rank your candidates, you can vote with your heart. You don't have to be subject to a first-past-the-post voting system which has held smaller parties back. In this election, you can rank your candidates. So you can vote with confidence for Julie in this election, knowing that your vote won't be wasted. You can put her as number one, and you can send a clear message that the Greens are a principled party, and do that with your vote. And of course, we have the elections to the county council. And what's really exciting, as we've seen in London, where we've had mayoral candidates and members elected to the London Assembly, they worked in tandem with local councillors, and they've achieved seismic change, bringing in the living wage for London, transforming those who are investing in Britain's economy, tackling air pollution and putting it right up the agenda, getting a proper transport infrastructure on the move in London. And we can do the same in Cambridge. And let's have an assembly for Cambridge. The Greens are saying not just vote for us for the mayoral candidate, but vote for an assembly. Vote for an assembly that will keep whoever is elected to that mayoral position to account. It is vital that we have that scrutiny. It's vital that we don't concentrate power without that accountability. And so I'm thrilled that Julie is campaigning for an assembly here. And I'm thrilled that Julie is a woman. We know that the other parties are putting forward no such alternative. As some of the press have talked about, they're male, pale and stale. You know what they really are, male, pale and stale. Julie is none of those things, and it's great. And of course, we know that women consistently vote disproportionately for the Green Party, and it's no coincidence that we have a woman as a candidate here. Julie is also a parish councillor. She comes with a real knowledge of local people. Last time I was here, I went to visit houseboat residents down on the river. I visited a number of them. I've seen what the Labour Council is doing to them, not listening to them, not hearing what they're saying, and I hope when that report comes out on the 23rd of March, it reflects their concerns. A Labour Council that's not listening to local businesses and local traders, where the Green Party is, and it's the Green Party that are standing up for local people here. So I'm thrilled to be introducing Julie. I want you to support her. I want you to go out and campaign for her. I want you to get people voting for her. I want you to tell people that they can vote with confidence. They don't have to be subject to a voting system where you have to hold your nose and vote for what might think is the least possible worst option. You can vote for Julie and know that you are sending a clear message, and your vote will not be wasted. More than that, it will send a very clear message about the future that we want to build here and in the wider country. Julie.